you are watching the Policy Times. This is Samaita, or today I will brief why Arogya Setu app has raised so many legal and privacy concerns these days. So lately we have seen that Arogya Setu app, the central government Arogya Setu app gained a major popularity amongst Indians, and within 1 month this app has raised so many privacy and legal concerns within 1 month. And not only about privacy, about the legality of making it mandatory. So earlier this week, the former Supreme Court Judge B.N. Sri Krishna called the government mandating the app utterly illegal. Today I will take the deep dive into the legal and privacy concern raised around the app. So first, let's know that what is Arogya Setu app. Arogya Setu, developed by the National Informatics Center and launched in April 2nd, is an improvised version of Corona Kavach app developed in March by Union Ministries and Electronics and Information Technology and Health and Family Welfare. So it is available on 12 languages. Arogya Setu uses Bluetooth and mobile phones that global positioning system to let user and government know a person has come to contact with the coronavirus patient. So over the course of the coronavirus outbreak in the country, the government strategy against virus has been evolving. So from extending lockdowns, categorizing different colored zones and promoting social distancing, to changing the way it tastes and treats people. So along with this, the government has also aggressively pushing the Arogya Setu mobile app. It launched last month. It has now many cases. It made it mandatory for the people download it. Now ऐप का जो टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस में लिखा है वो है द यूजर एग्रीज एंड एक्नॉलेज दैट द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया will not be liable for any unauthorized access and to your information and modification thereof. So चलिए सबसे पहले जानते हैं कि how Arogya Setu app works. कोई भी एक आप ये ऐप डायरेक्ट गूगल प्ले से डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं. It uses location data and point out people to have one close proximity with a COVID-19 patient. The application requests for access to location and at all times. So once the user provides permission, the app requests for some basic info that will help build the data about the users. The information includes age, gender, health status, and also ask for the countries that the user has been in the past few weeks or past few months. The application also asks if the user belongs to any exempt category of professionals. Then it asks if the user be willing to help in times of need. In the next step, self-assessment test is put forward, where the user is asked about their current health and whether they are showing any symptoms of COVID-19 infection. The user will also have to declare their travel history. The app considers Bluetooth ranges as a proximity sensor under which the user can be infected another COVID-19 positive patient. When two smartphones with the app installed in them come in each other Bluetooth range, the app will exchange information. If the one user is positive, the other person will be alerted about the possibility of being infected. These potential cases are then notified to the government for further testing. This app has been downloaded more than 90 million times in a country with a smartphone user base around 500 million. To popularize it, a campaign featuring Bollywood celebrities was launched. Now coming to the privacy issue, the Executive Director of Internet Freedom Foundation, Mr. Apar Gupta, said that Arogya Setu is a form of surveillance and inflicts tangible privacy security. Millions of Indians, many of them obvious of any privacy concerns, have enthusiastically downloaded the app at the Prime Minister Narendra Modi recent urging. Some were encouraged their employees who said they cannot work without the app. According to cyber law expert Mr. Praveen Duggal, the privacy policy of the app is completely illegal and silent, and completely silent on as to what security practices are being followed. Merely saying that the data is kept secure through encryption is nothing but a lip service. They need to give more details on the security procedures and answers what level of encryption is being used. Now the question is, has any app like this worked elsewhere? Answer is yes. At least 27 countries have such apps. At least 10 of them have government sanction. Officials say that the low mortality rate in Singapore and South Korea is partially attributed to the success of their contact tracing apps. The China has so far able to avert the second wave of infection, maybe related to its use the similar of app. So now, why Arogya Setu app has so many privacy complications? So number one, there is a saying that according to a privacy law expert, the app is not open source, and because of that many critics have raised their eyebrows that it will happen down the line but not confirm any expected date. The review further reveals that since the app is not open source, its code and methods can be easily reviewed by any third party. And there is no public sunset clause stating when the app will cease to mandatory, and although it has confirmed that data of sick individuals are detected in 60 days for any healthy people for 30 days. So number two, excessive data gathering. Concerns have also been raised over how much data the app collects. How much the data app actually collects. It asks its user to share their name, phone number, age, gender, profession and details of countries visited in the last 30 days. The Internet Freedom Foundation, a New Delhi based advocacy group, said the app collects both people Bluetooth and GPS, which is inconsistent with people's principles of data minimization. It collects more personal and sensitive personal information than it's required. A New York-based legal detective said collecting GPS data which record user location every 15 minutes along with continuous Bluetooth data is excessive. Number 3. No liability to protect the data. An ethical hacker called Elliot Alderson claimed privacy of 90 million of Indians is at stake. Security due to security issues with the Indian app. So what he did, he hacked the app, and he claimed he was able to see the app to whether animals were sick in private homes, including the official residence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And yes, he confessed that 5 people felt unwell at PMO's office, 2 unwell at Indian Army headquarters, and 1 infected people at the Indian Parliament, 3 infected at Home Office. He wrote on Twitter, I'll show you the picture. So, where is the liability to protect the data? Alderson has previously said raised the red flags about over alleged security flaws in India's national biometric identification system. The world's largest, which has gradually gone from voluntary to near mandatory in the country. India has no national privacy law, and it's not clear who has accessed the data of from the app and what situation? According to the researchers of Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, have said in a review, the team of MIT ranks various COVID tracing apps around the world and their transparency and other factors, and Arogya Setu met just 2 out of 5 criteria. There are no strong, transparent policy or design limitation on accessing or using the data at this point. The researchers say, while nothing that India is only democracy making its app mandatory for millions of people. As I briefed that whole privacy concern around the app, let's make it clear to you. I'll read the point-wise privacy so that the complication point-wise, so that you can understand more specifically. So as per 45 civil society group, in the absence of a legislative guarantee continuous sunset clause, sensitive personal data about health, movement and of gig workers collected by the Arogya Setu app could be misused for profiling and mass surveillance even after the COVID-19 outbreak is over. So the main concerns are: number 1, it is being made mandatory. Number 2, the collection of too much personal data. Number 3, a lack of information on how the data would be kept anonymous. Number 4, the lack of liability on the government for misidentifying a patient, which can lead to loss of income and mobility. Number 5, the possibility of use for non-COVID health research. Number 6, the possibility of use by law enforcement agencies. So on May 4, total 8.3 crore had downloaded the app out of 138 crore Indians. A feature phone variants may be released soon, and which will expand the pool of patients users to 50 crore. Now the main question is, are the others' data in our phone really safe? I picked out some expert answer on this raised question. Nikhil Pawar, one of India's pioneers on digital rights and founder of Medianama, a digital telecom policy on news website, he said, theoretically, the data we generate using our phones, such as location data or our SMS history, call history, apart from who have been close to, are at risk depending on what kind of data the government chooses to collect from our phone as the scope of Arogya Setu expands. He also said another problem is that if there is a data leak of misuse of data, user at present can hold it liable, because a data controller of data fiduciary has not been defined. On the safety of the data on a phone that it installs the app, Alagunambi Welkin, a free software movement activist, a general secretary of Chennai-based union and IT-enabled services employees, said, I worry about more the curated data stored in a centralized server. We are in the living age of data, where the value of corporates who have access a large sum of data weighs more than oil conglomerates. We have also seen how election in both our own country and others like US have made it to the citizens to push their political agenda. So can we tell that these apps made to fulfill any political agenda? Question to all. Welkin also added that ideally the government should adhere to its open source policy that have the mobile application source code accessible to the public. India is a world IT hub and we have 41 million employees capable of verifying it. He further suggests all curated data should be accessed only via a blockchain element system, and where every access of data is recorded with enough metadata which authority accessing it, for what, on whose approval, for how long, and so on. And that should be point of creating trust in authorities, where profit and benefit for power over rights, trust and benefits for the people. He also mentioned that in the name of the innovation and digital India and 3 trillion digital opportunity vision of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, state e-governance and IT departments created various applications and which were prepared by private companies. Most of them lack of privacy was designed. And the authorities do not worry much about the ensuring privacy. Like any government, the Congress as well as initiated surveillance programs like the Central Monitoring System, DRDO, NETRA, and so on. So first, what we need? What we need is a first forwarding Data Protection Act and high on the fine amount for violators. It can only save us from the future cyber security disaster. That's all for now. Today मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में. देखते रहिए द पॉलिसी टाइम्स. थैंक यू.